Hello, thank you for viewing ScotLIS Public, which focuses on the public offering of the service. In this video, I will firstly go over the history of the public side of the service. Then we'll be taking a full look through what is available on the ScotLIS Public. To begin with, I will discuss the history. So, ScotLIS was launched in October 2017, where it was just the business side of the service that was available to business customers. However, as of May 2019, there was a refreshed offering of ScotLIS, which allowed any member of the public to be able to access property information. Now, what property information that is, we'll be looking at today. So basically anyone, anywhere can self-serve their title property information. So that's your title sheet and title plan. And these title documents are official records relating to a particular property. Within a title sheet, you will find four sections. Firstly, the property section. This includes the postal address of the property, if there is one. It contains a description of the property and land and any associated rights. Next, you'll find the proprietorship section. This shows the current registered proprietor. This is likely to be the current owner. It will explain any special arrangements of how the property is owned, and it may also contain information on how to transfer the property in the event of death of one of their proprietors. Next, you would find the security section. This includes details of any mortgage over the property. And finally, the burden section. This contains details of obligations on the property owner. Then, within a title plan, it will show the extent and boundaries of a property on the map. Boundaries are the lines that mark the limits of your property. They are often marked by physical features such as walls or hedges. Your title plan will mark property boundaries with a red line. So, in this video, we'll be looking at ScotLIS, and to start off with, I'll just go through the website. So it's scotlis.ros.gov.uk. So we're going to be taking a full look now at just what you can do on the service, so covering all of the offering of ScotLIS. So firstly, up the top, you've got your home button, you've got help and guidance, you've got what's new, which is basically anything new on the service will be in there right from the start of the public side of the service. You've also got business user sign in if you've got a business account. Now, up the top here, you can see search land register and search by map. So that's two different ways to search for your property information. Now, we'll be looking at search by map, which is an interactive map, and we'll be looking at that just shortly. So you've got the search the land register button here, and you've also got your search the land register here down the bottom as well. These both are just the exact same, but just in different formats. Now, you can see here what you can actually do on the service. So you can find property owners, search for property prices, buy property documents, and check if a property is on the land register. And we'll be looking at all this different information in this video. So you can see down the bottom here, you can search by postcode or by title number. Now, when we're searching and we're looking through different examples, there might be times when information is blurred out, and that's just down to it being sensitive information, someone's personal data. So if you do see that, that's why, but we'll be calling it out throughout this video. So we can either search for property information or property prices. So to begin with, we're going to be searching for property information. Now we'll be searching by postcode. You can see there it mentions title number. Now title number is just a unique reference to a property that's on the land register. So any property in Scotland that's on the land register will have its own unique reference, also known as a title number. However, it's unlikely that you're going to have that, but I'll be calling out where you can find that throughout this video. So we're going to be searching by postcode today. Now, I'll just input like so, and then just click on the search or enter button, and it will bring back your live results. Now, this has worked directly with our registers and brought back 14 results for the specific postcode, and all of these ones are on the land register. Now, you can see here, why is my property not listed? Now, it could be the most likely reason that being would be that it's on our older register, our Sazine register, which predates the land register. Now, we won't go into too much history about that in this video. However, if it's not on this list, that's likely why. So for example, you can see here 11, 12, 14, 16. So 13 and 15 are most likely in this street, and are missing. So what's actually available? If it relates to an addressable property, then please visit our property help form. So all you would do if you couldn't find your property there, is just go through this property help form like so. You can see all the relevant information, your details, and then continue. And then someone from our team will be in touch. Now, if it's not, then it'll be on the land register and you'll be able to get your property information up front just now. So the one we're going to look at is this 2 Cedar Gardens. Now, what's worth pointing out is everything you're seeing here is upfront and free. So you can search for any property in Scotland and you can investigate whatever information you want on what's available. It's not until you're actually pressing the buy now button after you've inputted your card details that you would be committing to any purchase. So this is all upfront and free. So what you're seeing here is firstly your title number. Now that's what we mentioned earlier in the video, your unique reference. Then you've got other various property details. So address, last purchase price. So this was last purchased in April 2019, and you can see the price there. Now, if I just quickly skip ahead to this historical prices for this property, you can also see the other purchases of this specific property, and it goes from date. So the first being 1987, that's when it entered into the land register, and you can see through the time all the different purchase dates and also the purchase prices. So going back up here, you can see here the land register status, the interest, the property type. So that says residential. So say this was a business property, then that would come under commercial. So there's a button there just explaining that as well. So there is different property types. Now, scrolling down, you can see our map here. Now, this is a good indication of the property boundaries for this specific property. Now, to get the exact property boundaries for this, you would need to purchase the property documents, being the title sheet and title plan. But this is still a good indication. You can see there, edged in red, the property boundaries. Now, the next thing to do, and you don't need to do this, if you're happy enough with the information you've already seen, then great, that's upfront and free. However, if you want to go ahead and buy the property documents, then you can do so. And what you would do is just add this to basket. So that's your title sheet and title plan. Now that's £3 plus VAT, so that's £3.60 in total. So you can see here, it's took us to our checkout. You can also see up the top, it's added it to the basket. So we can either check out just now or search for another property. Now, it's just like any online kind of purchase. If you go to checkout, then all it's doing is asking you for your card details, your billing address, and to provide an email address. And this is where you would get the PDF formatted property information. So just say that we filled out all that information. I'm not going to put in card details or anything like that. I've already went ahead and got this property information for us to have a look at. So if I just open that just now, and firstly onto the title plan. So you can see here the title plan. Now you can see here the ordnance survey, the national grid reference. Again, you can confirm the title number, and you've got your survey scale as well. So you can see here, the boundaries indicated hereon are more fully defined in the title sheet as compared to what we saw on the last screen. So if I just zoom in a bit, just a nice residential property to look at, clearly indicated by points A, B, and C, which will be made reference to in the title sheet, which we'll take a look at next. But that just gives you your property boundary outline. So our title sheet looks like this. So firstly, the first page, just your search summary. So just the date and time of the search. So you've got your section A down to section D, which is all just relevant property information to this specific property for 2 Cedar Gardens. So in section A, it's just the general kind of information. So we've seen some of this, such as date of first registration, and you can see different ones such as the map reference. You've also got the description, and you've also got this boundaries. So this information just goes with what was in the title plan. So the boundaries between points indicated on the title plan are as follows, and then it goes through the A to B and the B to C. Next, we'll be taking a look at section B. So this is proprietorship. So whoever owns the property, so if an individual or individuals own this, then they'll be named here. Now, obviously, the names here are blurred out due to personal data, so you can't see them. But just imagine that was different names, and you can see there, this is equally between them. So two people own this, and it's equally between them. And you can see the price that they paid for this under the consideration price. And that consideration price was also in the last screen that we looked at before we went ahead and purchased this. You can also see the date of entry and the date of registration. Next is section C. So this is called securities. So when you take out a mortgage, you get a standard security put against your property, just as the name suggests, as a security for the lender. So you can see here, there's a standard security buy said, and again, it's blurred out the names due to the sensitive nature, but you can see the lender who's lent the individuals the money and just with the address that they're registered at. So obviously it's common to have a mortgage. So you see these a lot when a mortgage is paid off, for example, or say you just bought the house outright, then all that would appear here is there are no entries. So nothing would appear here if there was no security on the property. You can also see the date that that was registered. So that standard security was registered in April 2019. Next, you've got the burdens sections. So the burden sections are kind of like different burdens on the property. So for example, say you lived in a flatted property, there was an upstairs and a downstairs, then it's most likely that you're going to have a specific car park designated to your specific property. So a burden would just call that out and just explain that fully where that is. Also, it could be if you were in a large 4 in a block building, there might be a common pathway to take the bins out to and from, so that would be mapped out as well. So that kind of thing. There's all kinds of different burdens. We'll not go into a massive look into these ones today, but other examples could be, say it was a new development, various different houses built. It could be that you're not allowed to put up any fences over a certain height for however many period of years, or it could be you see ones such as you're not allowed to keep any livestock on the property, that kind of thing. So that's all covered in the burdens. So you get all different ones, like I say, but when you're looking at this and yourself, feel free to take a full read through the burdens. In this one, there's only two burdens, but nothing massive standing out in these ones. So that concludes our first example. Now, the next example we're going to be looking at, if we go back to our home page, and I'll just do that by clicking on the ScotLIS logo, is looking at property prices. Now, when you click on property prices, it tells you to enter a full postcode or admit the last character from a postcode to see more results. So we previously used this postcode. Now, if we wanted to drop the last letter like it's suggesting to get more results and press search, then we'll do so like so. Now, you might be thinking, well, we looked in the last example, we looked at property prices with the historical prices and also the last price paid, and that's great. If that's all you wanted to know, that's great. What's quite good about by searching this way is it lists various different results. So you can see here 388 results were found compared to the 14 previously. Now, you might want to look at these types of information. You could be either moving to an area or moving away from an area, and you wanted to kind of get a feel for the prices that stuff was going for and kind of when that was. So say we wanted to find this by the last purchase date, then you can filter that, and you can filter by address, purchase date, or purchase price. And you can see there's various different prices, and you can click into the properties and it would take you to the similar page that we looked at in our last example. Now you will see ones such as no price available, and if you were to click on what's this, then it would just explain that your property documents include further information. Now, there's different reasons, and most commonly, no money has passed hands. That's why no price is available. So just as an example, it could be an implement of a will where it's been passed to somebody and obviously no money has passed hands. So there wouldn't be an actual price available. But if you went ahead and purchased the property documents, it would confirm exactly why there was no price available. So that just takes a look at our property prices. So if we go back, we'll now take a look at our interactive map. So click on the top here, search by map. And this is a full interactive map of Scotland. So you can see there the map of Scotland. Now, you've got your plus and minus button here, and that's just zoom in and zoom out. Also, if you've got touchscreen enabled on your device, then you can use your touchscreen feature to zoom in and out of this map. You've also got this find my location. So if you've got location services enabled, then if you click on that button, it will take you to the area you are currently at. So some useful things to know about there. You've also got this search area on map. So use an address or postcode in the search bar. So for example, it's given us a postcode. So if you wanted to do it by address, whereas in the previous look where we just put in the postcode, you can actually put in the address there. So this just gives you more options on how to search the map. So we're not going to do that. We're going to use the touch screen or the plus and minus. So I'm just going to zoom into an area. And this is obviously good for when you don't have an address. You might not know it. You might know where it kind of is, that kind of thing. So this just lets you zoom in to the map. So we're going to take a look here at the Edinburgh Castle. So that's the castle there with this black outline and inner grey fill. Now, if I was to click on that like so, then it would basically search the land register and come back with a result. And you can see there, Edinburgh Castle has come back. So if we were to go ahead and click on that like so, then it would just take us to a page like you've previously seen that we looked at in the first example, and then you could go ahead and purchase your property documents. That's just to show you how that looks. However, if we go back, just to call out a couple more things. Firstly, you've got this aerial tag on the left-hand side. So just as you think it would look like an aerial view of whatever you're looking at. So you can see there, it's loading up nicely now, and you can zoom in a bit more, and you can see quite a clear picture of the castle there. So just something to keep in mind. And just to switch back, you can click on the map like so. Now, what you can do is look around the specific area, and you can see here there's various different properties with this black outline, inner grey fill. Now, there is obviously different, whilst we're looking around this map, there's different ones where it doesn't look like there is anything to click into. So for example, this area of ground, if we were to click in here, well, we're getting this. There are no results for this location. It may be in our older Saesium register. So if your inquiry relates to an area of land or building that does not have a postal address, please visit our land title investigation form. So this is obviously an addressable property, and we would click on that property help form, which we looked at earlier in the video. However, our next example, we're going to actually take a look at the land title investigation form. So that's just something to keep in mind when you are searching. There is going to be areas where there isn't an address, or it isn't on the land register. So you need to take it further to get your property information. So if we go back now and we take a look at another interactive map example, we can search by map. And for this, we're going to go right up north of Scotland. So you can see here, Lerwick. So you can see again the different kind of black outlines within our grey fill. What's good to show you here is a residential street. So you can see there, that property there would be on the land register, like so. You can see the address. Whereas the one next to it, if I click on that, then again, I'm not getting any results for this, so it might be in our older Sazine register. So that's just a good way to visualize it. However, for this example, say we were looking at an address, it didn't have, sorry, a field, and it didn't have any postcodes, any address attached to it, then we would get this come up compared to the field on the right. Whereas if we clicked on that, we'd be able to click through that and get our property information. So what happens when we click on this one? Well, we don't know the address, we don't know the postcodes, then we would just click on the land title investigation form, like so. Now, what this does is it takes you through, just like what we saw in the earlier example of the form, but that was obviously where you're filling out the address. But when it's not known, the address, then you would go through this method. Now, firstly, it just confirms the prices, then your inquiry. It asks you to draw on the map just the area of grounds which you're wanting to find out the property information for. So you would just do it like so, and that would attach to your inquiry. And then you would just fill out the different location descriptions, tell us more about what you're trying to do, just as much information as you can kind of think is relevant. Obviously, the more the better for us to help find searching this. And then again, just confirming the price, your billing address as well, and then just clicking on continue. And then someone from the team will get back in touch with you just with more details on your inquiry. So that's what to do when you come across one of them. Now, just lastly, just to show you, there is this button on the right, but which I already called out, so you can use that at any time. So if you went off somewhere around this kind of fields area, then if you wanted just to come straight out of there, then that Find My Location is available at any time. You don't just need to do it when you first go to your ScotLIS map, and I'll just show you that. So just like so, it is available there, but also throughout your searching journey. So that concludes the video for ScotLIS Public. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope you found that useful.